So the first clip you saw, short clip, was snow that we got about 3 or 4 days ago. The second clip is of the beach that I used to go to all the time. It's in town. I think we have about 4 private beaches here, and you need a permit to get in. So I just needed to get out of the house and come to the beach and relax a little bit. It's been 2 weeks and 2 days since I had to put my dog Isaac down, and I'm just really depressed over it. More so, I think, because it happened so fast. I got up in the morning and I looked out into the living room, and because he usually lays there about a foot or two away from my bedroom door, so that I have to walk over him when I get up. That way he knows I'm up. So he usually sleeps there. And I never sleep with the bedroom door closed anyways. I never have. Even when I was living in Lynn, I never slept with the door closed. And I didn't at the cottage either, no matter who was staying over. So I got up. I took him out, gave him a little treat, fixed breakfast for him. And in the early afternoon, he was fine. Oh, and I let him out, and he was fine. He has a little arthritis in his feet, so it's hard for him to go up and down the stairs, but he managed the 5 steps, no problem. And in the afternoon, he seemed fine. And then late in the afternoon, he came out of my bedroom. He sleeps in there a lot during the day. He goes on the other side of the bed where John used to sleep, and he would lay there for, a couple hours. But he came out of the bedroom and he laid on the living room floor. And I didn't pay too much attention to him. He made a weird sound, and that made me look up, but he seemed fine. Then it was time for him to eat, and I got his dinner together. And then I went into the living room to see how he was doing, and he wouldn't move. I brought the food to him, and he wasn't interested at all. So I put it back out in the kitchen, and I went in there and laid down with him for a couple minutes. And then I forced him into getting up, actually. He got up, walked into the kitchen, wouldn't even look at his food, and walked into the back hall and laid down. He lays down in the back hall a lot when we're not home. Usually when I come home, I have to open the door slowly because he's usually laying there waiting for me to get home. So I laid down with him for a while, and I noticed that it seemed like he was having convulsions in his stomach. That's when I called the vet. We have a place down here that's 24/7, and they charge a fortune too. So I called them up, made arrangements, drove there, and they had a wagon to put him on because I told him he couldn't walk at all. And he wasn't in there all that long. And I got a call from the nurse, actually the doctor, saying that he was in really bad shape, that he was bleeding internally, and that she didn't think surgery would be any good, that the best thing to do at this point would be to put him down. So that's what we decided to do, and I told her that I had to be there when they did it. Because of COVID, they don't let you inside these places right now. So they said I could come in, and they put up a special room for me, and they had him on the wagon, and the poor dog looked like he was petrified. Then the doctor said that she would leave, give me a couple minutes with him alone. She said, just don't make it too long. She said, I wouldn't want him to die on you like that. I forget how she worded it, but anyway, she left, and it was just Isaac and I alone, and he calmed down. And then I rang the buzzer for her to come in, and she hooked him up to the, he already had the IV tube in him. So she gave him what she had to give him, and he went to sleep, and then his heart stopped, and she asked me if I wanted him cremated or if I was taking him home, and I told her that I was taking him home. Many years ago, excuse me, after I got him, I went to Middleborough and picked up a pest casket, just to be prepared for this particular time. And I had it down in the basement, so I told her that I was taking him home. They put him in a nice little box with the ribbon and flowers on it and brought it out to the car with me. And I came home and I walked into the kitchen there and I looked into Brandon's room and told him that they had to put him down. And, I was just heartbroken over the whole thing. Then I went down the basement and I got the casket. I knew exactly where it was and brought that up. And then Brandon helped me bring him in. He put the whole box in the casket, which I wasn't thrilled with, but, it turned out pretty good. I was going to take him out of the box because the casket is all lined and it had the pillow, everything a regular casket does. And, but I kept him in the box. Actually, I didn't want to see him again being dead. So the box fit right in the casket. They give you this adhesive tape that goes all around the inside, and I did that, and we sealed it up, and I think I kept it in the house, the casket in the house, and then the next day I put caulking around it. That's what we did to Zach when I buried him. We put him in the same type of casket. He's buried at the cottage. So then I got Brandon up and we went down to Home Depot and I got an auger. Even though the property is mostly sand, there was no way I could dig, not with my COPD. So I rented an auger for 24 hours and started. I knew exactly where I wanted them. I started using the auger, and between my COPD and Brandon helped a little bit. I called the kid next door. I think he's about 29, and he lives with his parents, just a single kid. And he came over, and he was very helpful. He just took that auger, and he knew exactly how to use it. He said he used to use an auger with his grandfather. And we dug it about 4 feet down, is what I wanted. And even his mother came over to see what was going on. Then we were done digging the hole, and obviously he went home. So we went in the house, and I told Brandon the next day we would bring the casket out and bury him. And that's what we did. We put the casket in the hole, and we buried him. It's all sand. I have some topsoil. I might put some topsoil on there and plant some flowers and stuff. I don't know, but I'm just heartbroken over the whole thing. He was my connection to John. And, I lost John 3 years ago, and now I've lost Isaac. A little backstory was I retired in 2007, and January 1st. Actually, my last day was between Christmas and New Year's 2006, but I had vacation time that I had to take. So it was January 1st, we'll say. And everybody asked me, wow, what are you going to do when you retire? Because I took an early retirement at 62. And I said, well, the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect my alarm because I'm tired of waking up at 3:30 in the morning. And the second thing I'm going to do is get a puppy. Now, my cousin raises dogs. And when I got Zach, when I was living in Lynn, I got him through a breeder my cousin hooked me up with. I sort of hooked up with it, but then my cousin introduced me to him. They do a dog show down in Barnstable every year. So I went with them because they stayed at the house. And I went with them, and, I got introduced to some people that raise puppies. So I got Zach. And my cousin always said, don't ever get a dog from the pet store. So after I retired, I guess it was around March, because Isaac's 14 years old as of last month. I was down in Hyannis, and they have a nice pet store down there, and I always go into pet stores. And there was a Sheltie, and he was laying there all by himself, sound asleep. So I looked at him, and I looked at other dogs, and I like Shelties because they're apartment-sized dogs, although they do shed a lot. And I did the rest of the mall thing, and then I was getting ready to leave, and I stopped at the pet store again, and then I asked the guy if I could see him. So he brought him out. They have little cubicles that they put you in to get to know the dog. And I bought him right then and there, against my cousin's wishes. On the way home, I stopped at the vet, and they did an exam on him just to make sure he was fine, and they said that he was perfect. And then I brought him home. And I think that was a Thursday. And John was coming down Friday. So when I got home, I took a picture of Isaac on the back steps, and I sent John an email. He was in Malden working. And I sent him an email, and I put on it, I want to introduce you to, and then a few lines down, I said Isaac, and then a picture of him. So I called John up, and I said, John, I sent you an email. And he says, oh, okay. He says, I'm at lunch. I'll look at it later. I says, no, I need you to look at it now. He says, why? What's the matter? I says, I just want you to look at it. So sure enough, I stayed on the phone, and he looked at it, and he thought Isaac was so cute. Then he came down. John came down the following day, and it was nice. Isaac was good dog. So that was my connection. I mean, John took such good care of him. All the while John was alive. Played with him, fed him. Excuse me. Took him out for walks and everything. My feeling is, if you were lucky enough to share some of your life with a pet, you know the feeling. And, I just loved him to death. But now I won't get another one because of my age. I don't know how much longer I have, but, I wouldn't get a dog now. You never know the love of a dog is. It's the best thing that could happen to you. But anyways, that's it. That's my story. Very depressed. That's why I came to the beach. So, I will see you later, next time. Bye.